This is Mamuni. Thank you so much for being Amar Baba.
Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. In this video, I am going to discuss how to solve a triple column cash book problem with contra entries. So let's get started. Chalo, shuru kara jaak. Please remember, a triple column cash book is also known as a 3-column cash book because it contains 3 columns: discount column, cash column, bank column on both the debit side and credit side of the cash book. Okay, please remember, all cash receipts are recorded on the debit side in the cash column, and all cash payments are recorded on the credit side in the cash column. Okay, and all checks received are recorded on the debit side in the bank column, and all checks paid are recorded on the credit side in the bank column. Okay, and discount allowed is recorded on the debit side in the discount column, and discount received is recorded on the credit side in the discount column. Okay, so now let's go through the problem. So here is the problem. Cash book, triple column. Enter the following transactions in the books of Baba in a triple column cash book. Here is the column for date, here is the column for transactions, and here is the column for amount. So what is the first transaction? The first transaction is 2022 1st April, cash in hand rupees 5,000, overdraft at bank rupees 12,300. Since cash in hand is a debit balance, we'll have to write 2 balance BD in the cash book on the debit side in the cash column 5,000. Overdraft is a credit balance, so we'll have to write buy balance BD in the cash book on the credit side in the bank column 12,300. Okay, so let's write. So on 1st April, 2 balance BD in the cash column. How much? 5,000. And on 1st April, buy balance BD in the bank column 12,300. Okay, since the opening balance of cash in hand and bank overdraft is given in the problem, there will be no journal entries. So the question of narration does not arise. Okay. The next transaction is on 6th April, collected from Mr. Sen rupees 2,700 and discount allowed to him rupees 300. So nothing is mentioned. That means collected from Mr. Sen in cash. Check hole mention kore dito. Since nothing is mentioned, that means cash is collected from Mr. Sen. Jodi check hoto, they would have mentioned check. Kichu bola nei mane cash. Okay. So what will be the journal entry? The journal entry will be cash account debit 2,700, discount allowed account debit 300 to Mr. Sen account 3,000. Okay. So we'll have to look at the position of cash column, bank column, and discount column. So here we have to look at the position of cash account and discount allowed account, since there is no bank account. So what is the position of cash account? Since cash account is on the debit side, Mr. Sen account will also be on the debit side. So we'll have to write to Mr. Sen account in the cash book on the debit side in the cash column 2,700. So what is the position of discount allowed account? Since discount allowed account is on the debit side, so Mr. Sen account will also be on the debit side. So we'll have to write to Mr. Sen account in the cash book on the debit side in the discount column 300. Okay, so let's write. On 6th April, to Mr. Sen account 2,700, discount allowed column 300. So let's write down the narration. Being cash collected from Mr. Sen. And discount allowed. Moreover, cash column represents cash account, and cash account comes under real account. According to real account, what comes in is debit. Here, when cash is collected from Mr. Sen, cash comes into the business. So cash account will be debited by 2,700. Discount column represents discount allowed account. Discount allowed account comes under nominal account. According to nominal account, all losses and expenses debit. Here, when discount is allowed to Mr. Sen, this is a loss for the business. So discount allowed account will be debited by rupees 300. Okay. So let's see the next transaction. The next transaction is on 10th April, cash deposited into bank rupees 4,000. So this is a contra entry. What will be the journal entry? The journal entry is bank account debit to cash account. So there are two types of contra entries. First contra entry is cash deposited into bank. The journal entry for this contra entry will be bank account debit to cash account 4,000. Okay. And another contra entry is when cash is withdrawn from bank for office use. So what will be the journal entry? Cash account debit to bank account. Just the opposite. Okay. There are only two types of contra entries. এর বাইরে কিছু হয় না. So what is a contra entry? A contra entry is a transaction which involves both cash and bank. Both the debit aspect and credit aspect of a transaction get reflected in the cash book. Alright, contra entry which affects both a cash account and a bank account. Okay, so here what will be the journal entry? Let me show you. Say, on 10th April, cash deposited into bank 4,000. Bank account debit to cash account 4,000. Cash deposit into bank. This is a contra entry. First contra entry. I have already explained in detail about contra entries. I have already discussed about contra entries in detail. If you are really interested, please check out my video titled Contra Entries. Okay. So the journal entry is bank account debit to cash account. Okay. Please remember a contra entry which affects both cash account and bank account. So একটা ডেবিটে ব্যাঙ্ক অ্যাকাউন্ট হতে হবে, ক্রেডিটে ক্যাশ অ্যাকাউন্ট হতে হবে, অর ডেবিটে ক্যাশ অ্যাকাউন্ট হবে, ক্রেডিটে ব্যাঙ্ক অ্যাকাউন্ট হবে। যদি ফর এক্সাম্পল এখানে ফার্নিচার অ্যাকাউন্ট টু ক্যাশ অ্যাকাউন্ট হতো, এটা কন্ট্রা এন্ট্রি না। ইদার অন দ্য ডেবিট সাইড ব্যাঙ্ক অ্যাকাউন্ট হতে হবে, ক্রেডিট সাইডে ক্যাশ অ্যাকাউন্ট হতে হবে, অর ডেবিট সাইডে ক্যাশ অ্যাকাউন্ট হতে হবে, ক্রেডিট সাইডে ব্যাঙ্ক অ্যাকাউন্ট হতে হবে। এছাড়া কোনো কন্ট্রা এন্ট্রিজ হয় না। আন্ডারস্টুড? যদি এটা ব্যাঙ্ক অ্যাকাউন্ট ডেবিট টু সেলস অ্যাকাউন্ট হতো তাহলে কন্ট্রা এন্ট্রি নয়। প্লিজ রিমেম্বার, ডেবিট সাইডে ব্যাঙ্ক অ্যাকাউন্ট হতে হবে, ক্রেডিট সাইডে ক্যাশ অ্যাকাউন্ট হতে হবে, অর ডেবিট সাইডে ক্যাশ অ্যাকাউন্ট হতে হবে, ক্রেডিট সাইডে ব্যাঙ্ক অ্যাকাউন্ট হতে হবে। Either there will be bank account on the debit side and cash account on the credit side, or there will be cash account on the debit side and bank account on the credit side. সেটাকেই আমরা contra entries বলি। Only there are two types of contra entries. Okay, cash deposited into bank or cash withdrawn from bank for office use. Cash withdrawn from bank for personal use, that is not contra entries. Okay, the journal entry for that will be drawings account debit to bank account. So debit এ cash account নেই, credit এ bank account আছে, so that is not a contra entry. যেখানে bank account and cash account কে affect করবে সেটাই contra entry. Understood? So the journal entry is bank account debit to cash account. So we'll have to look at the position of bank account as well as the position of cash account. এটা side by side entry হবে. We'll record a journal entry on the debit side in the cash book, and then again we'll record a journal entry on the credit side in the cash book. এটাকে contra বলা হয়। Okay? What is the position of bank account? Since bank account is on the debit side, cash account will also be on the debit side. So we'll have to write two cash account in the cash book on the debit side in the bank column 4,000. Why in the bank column? See, we are looking at the position of bank account. So we'll have to record in the bank column 4,000. And moreover, when you're depositing money into bank. So, banker column में तो 4,000 আসবে, cashier column में আসবে না. And another thing is, when you're writing two cash account, you cannot write in the cash column. You have to write in the bank column. If you write two bank account, you'll have to write in the cash column. Understood? So, let's write. On 10th April, two cash account in the bank column, 4,000. Okay, we'll always have to write C in the ledger folio. C stands for Contra. Okay, to cash account in the bank column 4,000. Always remember, when you're writing two cash account, you cannot write in the cash column. You always have to write in the bank column. And the logic is, since we're looking at the position of bank account, we'll have to write the amount in the bank column. And moreover, when you're writing two cash account, you cannot write in the cash column. Okay. Moreover, bank column represents bank account. Bank account comes under personal account. According to personal account, the receiver of the benefit is debit. Here, when cash is deposited into bank, bank is the receiver of cash. So, bank account will be debited by rupees 4,000. And when cash is deposited into the bank, it increases the bank balance and reduces the cash balance. Okay. So, it affects both the cash column as well as the bank column. So, as such, the same amount is recorded on the debit side as well as on the credit side. Because now we'll have to record on the credit side as well the same amount. Okay. Here we have recorded in the bank column. On the credit side, we'll record in the cash column. Why? See, what is the position of cash account? Since cash account is on the credit side, bank account will also be on the credit side. So, we'll have to write by bank account in the cash book on the credit side in the cash column 4,000. Okay. Why we are going to record 4,000 in the cash column? Because we are looking at the position of cash account. And moreover, when you are depositing cash into bank, cash goes out from the business. Cash balance is reduced. Okay. So, if you record 4,000 in the cash column on the credit side, that indicates cash goes out from the business. Okay. So, let's write. On 10th April, by bank account, in the cash column, 4,000. Same amount. See, on the debit side, 4,000 is recorded in the bank column, and on the credit side 4,000 is recorded in the cash column. The same amount 4,000 is recorded on the debit side in the bank column, and see, on the credit side the same amount 4,000 is recorded in the cash column. Okay. So, contra means side by side entry or opposites. Okay. And we'll have to write C in the ledger folio on the credit side as well. Why? Because C stands for contra. And we have to write C on both the sides in ledger folio. Okay. Now let me write down the narration. Being cash deposited into bank. Being cash deposited into bank. Okay. See here, cash column represents cash account. Cash column comes under real account. According to real account, what goes out is credit. Here, when cash is deposited into bank, cash goes out from the business. So, cash account will be created by rupees 4,000. And moreover, see, when cash is deposited into bank, bank balance is increased, but cash balance is reduced. Okay. Bank balance is increased by 4,000, but cash balance is reduced by 4,000. Okay. Now, let's see the next transaction. On 15th April, drew from cash for personal use, 1000. So, what will be the journal entry? Drawings account debit to cash account. Okay? Why drawings account debit? Because any personal expenses of the proprietor will be termed as drawings. Okay? So, drawings account debit to cash account since cash is mentioned. What is the position of cash account? Since cash account is on the credit side, drawings account will also be on the credit side. So, we'll have to write by drawings account in the cash book on the credit side in the cash column 1000. Okay? So, let's write. So, on 15th April, by drawings account, in the cash column, how much? 1000. Okay. Moreover, cash column represents cash account. Cash account comes under real account. According to real account, what goes out is credit. Here, when cash is withdrawn, cash goes out from the business. So, let me write down the narration. Being cash withdrawn for personal use. Okay. Now, let's see the next transaction. The next transaction is on 18th April, received a check from Shiv in settlement of his account, rupees 4000 less, discount 5%. So, what will be the discount amount? 4000 into 5 by 100, that will give you 200. So, the discount amount will be 200. How? 4000 into 5 by 100, that will give you rupees 200. Received a check from Shiv, how much? 4000 minus 200, 3800. So, what will be the journal entry? The journal entry will be bank account debit 3800. How did we get 3800? 4000 minus discount allowed 200. Okay. So, bank account debit 3800, discount allowed debit 200 to Shiv account 4000. Okay. So, what is the position of bank account? Since bank account is on the debit side, Shiv account will also be on the debit side. So, we'll have to write to Shiv account in the cash book on the debit side in the bank column 3800. Okay. And what is the position of discount allowed account? Since discount allowed account is on the debit side, Shiv account will also be on the debit side. So, we'll have to write to Shiv account in the cash book on the debit side in the discount column rupees 200. Okay. So, let's write. So, on 18th April, to Shiv account, in the discount column, how much? 200, because 5% of 4000 is 200, and in the bank column 3800, how we are getting 3800? 4000 minus discount allowed. Okay. Understood? Moreover, bank column represents bank account. Bank account comes under personal account. According to personal account, the receiver of the benefit is debit. Here, when check is received from Shiv, bank is the receiver of the benefit. So, bank account will be debited by rupees 3800. Moreover, discount column represents discount allowed account. Discount allowed account comes under nominal account. According to nominal account, all losses and expenses debit. Here, when discount is allowed to Shiv, this is a loss for the business. So, discount allowed account will be debited by rupees 200. Okay. So, let me write down the narration. Being check received from Shiv and discount allowed. Now, let's see the next transaction. On 25th April, cash withdrawn from bank for office use. This is the second contra entries which I was talking about. On 25th April, cash withdrawn from bank for office use 2000. So, what will be the journal entry? Let me show you. This is the second contra entry. Cash withdrawn from bank for office use rupees 2000. So, what will be the journal entry? The journal entry will be cash account debit to bank account. See, debit side a cash account, credit side a bank account. When cash was deposited into bank, তখন কি ছিল? Just the opposite. Bank account debit to cash account. Understood? Contra means bank account debit to cash account or cash account debit to bank account. এর বাইরে কিছু হয় না. So here, when cash is withdrawn from bank for office use, not personal use, please remember this, office use, then cash account debit to bank account. আর কিছু যদি মেনশন না করে, ফর এক্সাম্পল ক্যাশ উইথড্রন ফ্রম ব্যাংক, অফিস ইউজ মেনশন নেই, দ্যাট মিনস অলসো অফিস ইউজ। যদি পার্সোনাল ইউজ হতো ওরা অলওয়েজ মেনশন করে দেবে, আন্ডারস্টুড? So what is the position of cash account? Since cash account is on the debit side, bank account will also be on the debit side. So we'll have to write two bank account in the cash book on the debit side in the cash column 2000. Why we are recording 2000 in the cash column? Because we are looking at the position of cash account. Because you are withdrawing cash. Cash account withdraw করছে কি হচ্ছে? Cash is coming in, হাতে cash আসছে. So cash column এ আমাকে 2000 record করতে হবে. When you are writing two bank account, you cannot record in the bank column. Okay? So we'll have to write two bank account in the cash book on the debit side in the cash column 2000. What is the position of bank account? Please remember we have to look at the position of cash account, bank account and discount allowed account and discount received account. Why? Because there are three columns, cash column, bank column and discount column. So we'll have to look at the position of cash account, bank account, discount allowed account and discount received account. This is nothing but we are doing ledger posting. Okay? So what is the position of bank account? Since bank account is on the credit side, we'll have to write by cash account in the cash book on the credit side in the bank column 2000. Why we are recording 2000 in the bank column? Because we are looking at the position of bank column. And moreover, when you are writing by cash account, you cannot write in the cash column 2000. Okay? So we'll have to record 2000 in the bank column on the credit side. So let's write. On 25th April, to bank account 2000 in the cash column. Okay? Okay? So we'll have to write C in the ledger column. This C stands for Contra. Okay? Since cash account is on the debit side, we'll have to write two bank account in the cash column. Since we are writing two bank account, we cannot write 2000 in the bank column. We have to write in the cash column. Moreover, when you withdraw cash from bank, cash comes into the business. Okay? And cash balance is increased and bank balance is reduced. So you cannot write in the bank column. And when you are writing two bank account, you cannot write in the bank column. And moreover, cash column represents cash account. Cash account comes under real account. According to real account, what comes in is debit. Here, when cash is withdrawn from bank, cash comes into the business. So cash account will be debited by rupees 2000. Okay? Let me write down the narration. Being cash withdrawn for office use. Similarly, we now have to look at the position of bank account. Since bank account is on the credit side, we'll have to write, so on 25th April, by cash account. Since we are writing by cash account, we cannot write in the cash column. We'll have to write in the bank column 2000. Okay? Moreover, we're looking at the position of bank account, so we'll have to write in the bank column. So let me write down the narration. Being cash withdrawn for office use. And moreover, bank column represents bank account. Bank account comes under personal account. According to personal account, the giver of the benefit is credit. Here, when cash is withdrawn from bank, bank is the giver of cash. So bank account will be created by rupees 2000. And moreover, when cash is withdrawn from bank for office use, cash balance is increased, but bank balance is reduced. Please remember, debit side indicates receipts, either by cash or by check. And credit side indicates payments, either by cash or by checks. Okay? So now let's write Contra in the ledger folio column. See, we have written on the debit side in the ledger folio. See, on the credit side also we have written C in the ledger folio. See, contra entries are always denoted by writing the letter C. We have written C in the ledger folio column on the debit side, and we have written C in the ledger folio column on the credit side. Okay, please remember we have to write C in the ledger folio column on both sides of the cash book. See, we have recorded the same amount 2000 on the debit side as well as on the credit side. See, we have written 2000 in the cash column on the debit side and 2000 in the bank column on the credit side. So this is contra. Debit side entry hoche, credit side entry hoche. Okay. So now let's see the next transaction. The next transaction is on 29th April, received from Pooja check rupees 1500 in full settlement of account rupees 2000. Pooja being in financial difficulties. So we were supposed to receive from Pooja 2000. Pooja থেকে আমরা 2000 পেতাম. But we have received check from Pooja rupees 1500 in full settlement of account. তার মানে Pooja আর দেবে না. Why 500 less? 500 is not discount because see the last line. Pooja being in financial difficulties. So this is a bad date. Pooja is unable to pay rupees 500. So that is the reason she has paid 1500 instead of 2000. যদি Pooja being in financial difficulties না লেখা থাকতো, that means 500 is a discount allowed to Pooja. Okay? Since এই লাইনটা মেনশন করা আছে Pooja being in financial difficulties, that means এটা bad debts. Rupees 500 could not be recovered from Pooja. So what will be the journal entry? Let me show you. In the books of Baba journal, bank account debit 1500, bad debts account debit 500, to Pooja account 2000. Okay? কি বলা হয়েছিল? See. Receive from Pooja check 1500. So we have written bank account 1500. On 29th April, received from Pooja check 1500 in full settlement of account rupees 2000. Pooja being in financial difficulty. 2000 পাওয়ার কথা ছিল পূজার থেকে, but so 500 কম কেন? Why 500 is less? 500 is not discount allowed to Pooja because see the last line. Pooja being in financial difficulty. So 500 is bad debts. She could not pay rupees 500 due to her financial difficulties. Okay? So bank account 1500. Bad debts কি করে পেলাম? How did we get bad debts account 500? Pooja was supposed to pay Baba 2000, but Pooja paid rupees 1500 by check in full settlement of account. So Baba has received a check rupees 1500 from Pooja. So 500 is not discount allowed to her because the last line, remember, has been mentioned that Pooja being in financial difficulty. So Pooja could not pay 2000, but she, instead of 2000 she has paid as 1500. যদি কোনো কাস্টমারকে গুডস সেল করো ক্রেডিটে আর কাস্টমার মানি না দিতে পারে, that is a bad loss. So Baba was supposed to receive 2000 from Pooja, but Pooja has paid Baba 1500. So 2000 minus 1500, that is bad debts. Bad debts means loss, the amount which could not be recovered from the customer Pooja. Okay? Bad debts account comes under nominal account. According to nominal account, all losses and expenses debit. So bad debts is a loss. Bad debts কখন হয়? Cash transaction এ bad debt হয় না, but credit transaction এ bad debts হয়. Okay? যেই অ্যামাউন্টটা পেমেন্ট করতে পারলো না, that is a loss for the business. So bad debts account will be debited by rupees 500. But this is a compound journal entry. 2 debits and 1 credit. যদি এটা আমরা ভেঙে দিই এই জার্নালটাকে, তাহলে কি হবে? ব্যাংক অ্যাকাউন্ট ডেবিট টু পূজা অ্যাকাউন্ট 1500, bad debts account debit to Pooja account 500. Please remember, we cannot record the full journal entry in the cash book. We can only record bank account debit to Pooja account 1500. Why not bad debts account? Because debit bad debts credit Pooja. We cannot record this journal entry in the cash book. Journal entry cash book এ record করবার জন্য either debit side bank account হতে হবে, credit side cash account হতে হবে, একটা থাকতেই হবে, or ডেবিট সাইডে ক্যাশ অ্যাকাউন্ট হতে হবে ওর ক্রেডিট সাইডে ব্যাংক অ্যাকাউন্ট হতে হবে। এখানে যদি ব্যাড ডেটস অ্যাকাউন্ট ডেবিট টু ক্যাশ অ্যাকাউন্ট হতো তাহলে আমি রেকর্ড করতে পারতাম, বা ব্যাড ডেটস অ্যাকাউন্ট ডেবিট টু ব্যাংক অ্যাকাউন্ট হতো আমি রেকর্ড করতে পারতাম, বিকজ ক্রেডিটে ক্যাশ বা ব্যাংক আছে। বাট এখানে ডেবিটে ব্যাড ডেটস অ্যাকাউন্ট, ক্রেডিটে Pooja account, so we cannot record this journal entry, and we have to write a short note instead below the cash book. Note: Rupees 500 deducted by Pooja in settling her account is not a cash discount allowed to her. Remember this. Instead, she could not pay rupees 500 due to her financial difficulties. So, rupees 500 should be debited to bad debts account through the journal proper, and it should not be entered or recorded in the discount column on the debit side. Okay? So, bad debts account to Pooja account should be recorded in the journal proper. Bad debts account to Pooja account should not be recorded in the cash book. Instead, it will be recorded in the journal proper. But we can record bank account debit to Pooja account rupees 1500. So, what is the position of bank account? You might ask me why we are not looking at the Pooja account, since a triple column cash book consists of 3 columns, which is cash column, bank column and discount column. So, we'll have to look at the position of cash account, bank account, discount allowed account and discount received account only. Or কোনো account আমরা দেখব না. So, what is the position of bank account? Since bank account is on the debit side, Pooja account will also be on the debit side. So, we'll have to write to Pooja account in the cash book on the debit side in the bank column rupees 1500. Okay, so let's write. On 29th April to Pooja account in the bank column 1500. Okay. So let me write down the narration. Being check receipt from Pooja. Okay. Moreover, bank column represents bank account. Bank account comes under personal account. According to personal account, the receiver of the benefit is debit. Here, when check is received from Pooja, bank is the receiver of the benefit. So bank account will be debited by rupees 1500. Okay. So now let's see the last transaction. The last transaction is on 30th April. Paid to a creditor Mr. De rupees 700 and discount receipt rupees 300. So what is the position of bank account? Since bank account is on the credit side, Mr. De will also be on the credit side. So we'll have to write by Mr. De account in the cash book on the credit side in the bank column rupees 700. Okay. So what is the position of discount received account? Since discount received account is on the credit side, Mr. De account will also be on the credit side. So we'll have to write Mr. De account in the cash book on the credit side in the discount column rupees 300. Okay. So let's write. On 30th April by Mr. De account in the cash column 700, in the discount received column 300. Okay. Now let me write down the narration being cash receipt from Mr. De. So moreover, cash column represents cash account. Cash account comes under real account. According to real account, what goes out is credit. Here, when cash is paid to Mr. De, cash goes out from the business. So cash account will be created by rupees 700. Discount column represents discount received account. Discount received account comes under nominal account. According to nominal account, all incomes and gains credit. Here, when discount is received from Mr. De, discount received is a gain for the business. So, discount received account will be created by rupees 300. Okay. Now, let's see the total of cash column on the debit side and the cash column on the credit side. So, the total of cash column on the debit side is 9,700. So, we'll have to write 9,700. And the total of cash column on the credit side is 5,700. The rule is whichever is bigger, we have to write the bigger amount. There will be a shortfall on the credit side in the cash column. So, what will be the balancing figure? We have to write by balance CD. So, the date will be the last day in the month of April, April 30. So, the total of cash column on the credit side is 5,700 and the total of cash column on the debit side is 9,700. So, if you deduct 5,700 from 9,700, you'll get 4,000. Okay. So, buy balance CD is 4,000. So this 4,000 is the closing cash in hand for the month of April. Now in the next month, that is the month of May, the balance, this 4,000 will be brought down on the opposite side by writing the words to balance BD. To balance BD beneath the cash column 4,000. Okay. Why? Because the business is still continuing, and this by balance CD 4,000 is the closing cash for the month of April, will become the opening cash for the next period or for the next month 4,000. Okay. The date will be 1st May. Okay. So similarly, let's calculate the total of bank column on the debit side and the bank column on the credit side. Okay. So the total of bank column on the debit side is 9,300 and the total of bank column on the credit side is 14,300. So the rule is whichever is bigger, we have to write the bigger amount. So we'll have to write 14,300 on both sides. Okay. So the total of bank column on the credit side is 14,300. So the bank column on the credit side is greater than the bank column on the debit side. What is the total of bank column on the debit side? The total of bank column on the debit side is 9,300. So if you deduct the total of 9,300 on the debit side from the total of 14,300 on the credit side, you'll get 5,000. To balance CD in the bank column, how much? 5,000. Can I write debit लिखलाम because credit side total bank column में बेशी होती है. This is a bank overdraft. Okay, and the date will be the last in the month of April. April 30. So to balance CD is the closing cash at bank for the month of April. So this 5,000, that is the closing cash at bank, will be brought down on the opposite side, that is the credit side, beneath the bank column. So we'll write by balance BD beneath the bank column. Okay. How much? 5,000. So that means this is to balance CD. 5,000 is the closing cash at bank for the month of April, and this 5,000 will become the opening cash at bank for the month of May or for the next period. Okay, this is a bank overdraft. Okay, this is a bank overdraft. Now let's see the discount column on the debit side and the discount column on the credit side. Please remember, the discount column on the debit side and the discount column on the credit side are only total and not balance. Okay, so there will be no balancing figure. This is the rule. I've told you many a times. So what is the total of discount column on the debit side? See, 300 and 200. So 500. Okay. So what is the total of discount column on the credit side? Only 300. But we don't have to balance discount column. Okay. Because the discount columns are only memorandum columns, and therefore they do not serve the purpose of discount allowed account and discount received account. Please remember, cash columns and bank columns are balanced because they are not opened again in the ledger. But discount allowed account and discount received account, both the accounts are again opened in the ledger. The discount columns are only memorandum columns. So they are only total and not balanced. This is the rules. Okay. I hope you understood. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for your precious time. I sincerely hope this was helpful. And before I fade out, please remember, we live this world as we come into this world. In the end, nothing is ours to keep. So let's share what we have with the world. So let's share our stories with the world so that people can be motivated or inspired. Let's share our knowledge in our own small way with the people of the world. Let's create some wonderful videos for the people of the world so that these videos can be helpful for the people of the world. Bye-bye. Take care. Stay safe and stay blessed always.